The Michael Jordan glaze has to be stopped. Now, I've dealt with this literally my entire life, but they don't really tell the whole story of Michael Jordan and what he is. I don't think he's a top three basketball player, but I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain why. I don't think he's a top three player at all. There's a lot of cases, not probably all time, but there's a lot of cases where I'll take Giannis Antetokounmpo over Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? I don't f with Michael Jordan at all. It's not because I think Brown the GOAT. It's a lot of cases I'll take Shaq over him, I'll take Kobe over him. I just think he's a glazed human that gets no hate, and almost every single ball player gets hate besides Michael Jordan. And I think we need to put an end to that. You know what I'm saying? There is no the basketball's not a sport where one guy is above another, a whole bunch of other guys. No, 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 no. We can find someone who can lock that shit up. And that's all I'm doing in the sports media world. Let's get straight into it. First, let's get into the early years. We're gonna put this down in threes, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I'm about to fuck y'all whole head up, and I'm gonna give y'all nothing but facts. Nothing, not opinions, not crazy biased takes. I'm talking about straight facts. We go through the 80s. Boy got drafted in 84. He didn't win until 1991. That's 7 years of getting your ass whooped. Now, granted, 84, 85, 86, nobody's expecting you to win a ring. You're not Magic. Magic came in this bitch as a rookie and got a ring, but he had Kareem, so I'll let you slide. But you know what I'm saying? You're not Magic. You know what I'm saying? You're not Magic. So he got his ass whooped. He got his ass whooped by the Celtics. He got his ass whooped by the Lakers. He got his ass whooped by the Detroit Pistons. You know what I'm saying? They got on his ass. Nothing you could do about him. You could say he was too physical. You could say they were playing football. I don't care. Michael Jordan was still nice. He still came in averaging 28 points. Um, but he was getting whooped. Why was he getting whooped? It wasn't because he wasn't good. I still think the best player in the 80s after Magic and Bird, Michael Jordan's probably number three. You know what I'm saying? To really be honest with you, like he was good enough to go and get a ring. He just didn't have the team, right? Which is crazy to say because that's literally identical to the first 7 years of LeBron James, right? First 7 years, '03 to 2011. You know what I'm saying? Or 7 to 8 years, whatever. First stint in Cleveland. At least he took niggas to the finals. Michael never did that, right? At least he took niggas to the finals. Michael never did that. He took bums to the finals. Michael could never do that. Never. Right? So we got that one. You know what I'm saying? At least I took my niggas to the finals and shit. At least I had 25 or 48 straight on Detroit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just like Michael had the 60 in Boston. So their careers are very, very similar. Even though LeBron is the better rebounder, the better passer, the better floor general. You know what I'm saying? Probably a little bit more athletic, bigger, stronger, faster, a better shooter, and all these things. Let's not even get into that. I already got my first 7 years are better than your first 7 years, right? But they use that as a whole. Oh well, he like the finals losses. He got so many losses in the finals. Yo, dog. When we was early, Michael Jordan wouldn't even take y'all niggas to the finals. He couldn't get past the Pistons. At least I took my niggas to the finals in my fourth year in the league, third year in the league in '07. I just faced Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Bruce Bowen, and a prime Tim Duncan in '07. Guys that Michael Jordan has never faced. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get into that in the '90s. Now let's go to the '90s, right? Because 1989 and '90, the Pistons won. '91, he wins. '92, he wins. '93, he wins. '94, '95, Houston wins because he's on this little baseball bullshit. And his pops died, so we respect that. '96, '97, '98, I think it's the Sonics and the two Jazz series. Okay, boom. So you win six straight. And I'm not gonna lie, coming back after baseball and still being the best player in the world is tough. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give you respect where it's due. That is some cold gangster shit. However, how the fuck else? Right? Look at what you had. He had Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, or Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant. He had two Hall of Famers by his side and a Hall of Fame coach for 6 years. Now, has LeBron had that some type of help? Somewhat to a certain degree. A lot of finals runs. He had Kyrie and Kevin Love. I'll take a Dennis Rodman over a Kevin Love any day, but okay. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But Bron has had help. Bron has had help. Now, the help isn't the issue because the help is what get overlooked. It's the competition that no one looks at. Michael Jordan played in junior varsity and LeBron played on varsity. I'm not really impressed by a guy who averages 20 on JV when we've never seen you play on varsity. I've seen Bron play on varsity. Let me say something. Let me say somebody's level of competition. Let me break it down because everybody knows the six rings, but nobody knows what the six rings actually were. Right? I'm gonna break it down. Right? 91, I believe, is like the AIDS Magic Johnson, HIV Magic Johnson. This is right before he catches this shit from that old bitch in Sacramento. Right? You want a cookie for beating AIDS Magic Johnson? You want a cookie for beating Vlade Divac Dog? You serious? You want a cookie for that? For that shit, you want a cookie for? Oh, you finally overcame Detroit. Detroit got old. Detroit got old. Isaiah got drafted in the '70s, dog. Them guys got drafted in the '70s. They're not competing in the '90s. Detroit is over. You want a cookie for that? Oh, because no. It was no overcoming. It's no, I got in the gym and got stronger. No, Scottie Pippen got drafted. You needed help. Just like Bron needed help. You needed help, and Scottie Pippen helped you get over the ledge, and y'all beat the HIV Magic Johnson Lakers. Whoop de fucking do. Meanwhile, I'm busting my ass against Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Bruce Bowen, and they want to put me and you on the same level. Nigga, please. I'm over here busting my ass versus Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, James Harden, and prime Kevin Durant, and they want to put me and you in the same discussion. Nigga, please. I'm busting my ass against Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green, and they want to put me and you in the same discussion. We're not in the same league, dog. We're not. Hold on. I'm not even done. 92. You know who they faced? You don't even know. You a Jordan Glazer, but you don't even know. The Blazers. It was the Portland Trail Blazers, right? Tell me who was on that team. You don't even fucking know. Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, Jerome Kersey, and literally the rest of nobody. So RP Jerome Kersey. But Clyde Drexler, which I guess had a good year. I'll take Dominique Wilkins over that nigga any day, but that's besides the point. Clyde Drexler and the rest are nobodies. The rest are nobodies. You take the right now Atlanta Hawks, and Atlanta Hawks are whipping their ass. Trae Young, because guess what? Look at Clyde's numbers and look at Trae Young's numbers. Trae Young's numbers are better. They're better. And look at the Hawks others, and look at the Portland Trailblazers others. When you compare the numbers, they're better. You can take a team that's struggling to be a playing team. You can take a team 11 through 15. You can take a team. You can take a playing team right now in 2025, and that will be the equivalent roster-wise to an NBA Finals team in the 90s. And you want me to think that you could have competed with us? You serious? And then look at the way they talk about this nigga, man. Black Jesus, Black Jesus. Oh my God, but now Black Cat came through. Even Reggie Miller sucking him off the bone. Yo, relax, yo. Relax. Other players just worship Michael Jordan. It wasn't until 98, late 90s, when Kobe got in that motherfucker and was like, I don't care who this nigga is. I'm going to go at him. He can't guard me. I'm fresh out of high school, but that nigga can't guard me. Niggas didn't even have that delusion mentality till 98. Niggas was scared to guard Mike. Look at the film, yo. Niggas was scared to guard Mike. They just let him go right through. But they want to talk about some more of that 90s defense. So where was that with Mike? Because y'all let that nigga go straight through the lane. Y'all weren't athletic enough. But we got guys like Ant who go at KD, who will go at LeBron and take them niggas off their goddamn throne, who go at Steph and take them off their throne. Y'all didn't have guys like that with that mentality. All y'all bowed down and said, oh, my King Michael. Stop it. Stop it. It's not even fucking competitive. So anyways, the 92 Trailblazers, Clyde Drexler and a whole bunch of bums. And I think Jordan, that was the Suns. That was 92. That was when he had destroyed game. He had 6 threes. Well, what defenders won the 92 Portland Trailblazers? Okay, that's what I thought. But we want to give him a cookie for this shit, right? We want to give him a cookie for this shit. We want to say he's the GOAT because of this shit, right? You got 6 threes. You hooping on the 92 Portland Trailblazers, and you think you tough? Like, you think you like that? Well, I'm over here facing Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, literally a top 5 center ever. Jordan's never seen a top 5 center. He's never played against one in the finals. Never. Ever. He's never seen a guy like Jokic. He's never seen a 30-point center. He's never seen a 30-point big man. When he did, he went 7. But we're going to get on that. He's never faced a 30-point big man who also averaged 10 assists, who also averaged 10 rebounds, who also led the league in steals, who also you can play 23.5 pure seconds of flawless defense, and he still hit that bitch. He's never seen a guy like that. He's never seen a guard hitting step backs, closing games like Jamal Murray. He's never seen this before, dog. But he wants a cookie for beating the 92 Trailblazers? Are you serious? You've never seen the Spurs. You've never seen the Warriors. You've never seen the Thunder. You've never seen the teams like the Nuggets. But you want a cookie for this shit? Okay, whatever. 93, which I think is his biggest comp, close to the Jazz. 93, Charles Barkley took them boys to 6. And Charles Barkley was one of them niggas. He had that dog mentality. I used to study Charles Barkley because of my game. 6'4", power forward. Nobody could fucking guard him. Crazy. Led the league in rebounds, I think, one time. He was a smooth 26 and 13 or 23 and 13. You know what I'm saying? He was easily a top 3 player in 1993. That is facts. 1993 won't nobody fucking with Charles Barkley. That's a fact. That's a fact. Kevin Johnson was cold, but if you want a player comp, we can. Kevin Johnson was like a Jamal Murray. You know what I'm saying? And they the way they ran that offense was kind of Jokic like. You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree, it was kind of Denver Nuggets like. Yeah, Dan Marley, right? Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley, which are like your Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray to a certain extent. Well, I mean, come on, you got Scottie Pippen, fucking Horace Grant, and Phil Jackson. Now this one might have been a little fair. I can say good job Michael Jordan on this one. I think he averaged 40 this entire series. There was nobody that could guard him. But again, who are the defenders on Phoenix? Where's the combat? Bron's over at the free throw line with the fucking headband. Kawhi's checking in, and he's saying, fuck, look at all this comp I'm facing. But it's all right, though. I'm going to shoot this free throw because this is what I asked for. Michael Jordan's never had to look over his shoulder and see that. You know why? Because niggas won't like that in the 90s. What are you not getting through your head, dog? What are you not getting through your head? So again, you want a cookie for beating the 93 Suns. Okay, whatever. So I got some more for you. Pops. Oh. Yeah, 93 Suns. Okay. So yeah, Pops died. You want to play baseball? Okay, we can respect that. Hakeem Olajuwon came in there and whooped that ass back to back. Now, how did them Bulls face them Rockets? I don't know what was going to go on. I don't know what was going to happen because you got a 30-point two-way player and Michael Jordan. Michigan got a 30-point two-way player and Hakeem Olajuwon. So Scottie Pippen was a better player than any other second option in Houston. To be honest with you, I can't even think of another guy who was like that in Houston. When Kenny Smith, Vernon Maxwell, that ain't nothing to Scottie, right? They would have had Rodman by this time. So I mean, they probably it would have went 7s. That probably would have been some of the best comp, right? But there's no finals that he's ever been an underdog. And there's no finals where that team ever had a better team and he had to whoop them. He's never had a 2016 type of championship. Never. But he wants to be respected like that. I can't respect that. He's never had a squad where he's had to be an underdog, where he was outmatched and he won. He's never been an underdog. He doesn't know what that's like. He always had the better team. He was always privileged with better players. And there were really no perimeter defenders in the 90s until 94 when he met Gary Payton. Now, 94. GP was on one. Kim was on one. That was their year. He knocked them niggas out too. I ain't gonna lie. He knocked out a lot of niggas. You know what I'm saying? He's a top player for sure. He ain't better than LeBron James. He ain't better than these guys in this era who face real comp. So again, you got GP, a 6'3" nigga supposed to guard your 6'6" ass. Okay, whatever. Right? You got Pip. Now you got Rodman. Rodman was on one this year. There's a couple years where that boy averaged 14, 15 rebounds. And I know he got some defensive player of the years on his belt. That is the best hustle defender player the game has ever seen. And you know who's fourth or fifth probably in that category as well? Scottie Pippen. And then you got Ron Harper. And then you got Luke Longley. And then you got Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr coming off that bitch. Bah. Steve Kerr coming off that bitch. Bah. And then you got Tony Kukoc. So he could go for 20-some nights too. You had this damn near super team in the 90s who are all fucked over with these cheap ass contracts just to keep niggas by Jerry Krause. We weren't even supposed to have this team. We weren't even supposed to have this team was supposed to get broke up. They told Phil Jackson in 98, I don't care, y'all win a chip or not. You gotta go. You're too expensive. This team is too expensive. We can't afford it. Gotta break it up. Too much drama. Gotta break it up. Y'all are getting old. Gotta break this shit up. What's happening to the Boston Celtics this offseason should have happened back then, but they were lowballing the hell out of them. Right? So you beat Gary Payton, Sean Kemp. One Hall of Famer, one All-Star, the rest are pretty much nobodies, unless you really know Detlef Shrimp and Ernie Johnson and them niggas. You know what I'm saying? I really know ball, right? So 94. You want credit for that? You want credit for that? Because that team is damn near the equivalent to the damn 2018, 2017 Toronto Raptors or some shit like that. LeBron talk. Yeah, back when he swept them niggas with ease every single time. All-Star Kyle Lowry, All-Star DeMar DeRozan, OG Anunoby. Great defenders. Hit that little fadeaway on his ass. Boy, first team all defense, don't matter. Mwah. Jordan's never did no shit like that to nobody before. What? You serious? But we don't give Bron cookies and thanks for beating those teams and making it to the finals every single year. We instead deflate him for not being able to come across Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant all by himself when he has George Hill and Larry Nance Jr. on the squad. But we quick to give thanks to a nigga that has 2 top 40 players of all time and Pippen and Rodman against fucking Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. Are you serious? You want a cookie for that? Next round. 97, 98, he goes against them Utah Jazz. And the Utah Jazz got in their ass a little bit because there was no guarding John Stockton. There was no guarding Karl Malone. That was really that was, I believe, his best comp because he faced 2 legit Hall of Famers. John Stockton's number 1 assists for a reason. Karl Malone's top 3 in points for a reason. That was real deal comp. And Jeff Hornacek, that was comp for him, right? That was comp for him, I guess. You know what I'm saying? That was a 2 Hall of Fame team. While I have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green. While I have Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard, and Tim Duncan. Well, I have guys like Jokic. I got to go. Right? Well, I got prime Dirk Nowitzki and that deep-ass team of the Dallas Mavericks in 2011. Never faced teams like that. Never. And he needs a cookie for that shit. And they went to 7, and they almost lost to them niggas. They almost lost 98 if Jordan don't hit that weak-ass push-off. But you want a cookie for beating teams with 2 Hall of Famers when you have 2 Hall of Famers? When did you ever beat a team when you had 1 Hall of Fame guy by your side? And you had to beat 3 or 4. Steph, Clay, Dre, and Iggy, right? When did you beat the odds? How can you beat a GOAT and you never beat the odds, nigga? How can you beat a GOAT and you never beat the odds, nigga?